left to rise, buzz like crazy.
Stay in your lane, we are not the same. We cannot explain things about to change, cause we run the game. Cause we run the game.
Howdy doody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another NewForm event with me, your host, Brandon Groce, and we have an amazing guest today by the name of Nattu Adnan. He is the CTO and co-founder of Lottie Files. Ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't need an introduction because literally he was giving me a dissertation, a lecture about how awesome his platform is and how many people they have helped. Because you think Lottie Files does one thing, but it does many. But really, I'm not going to steal any of Nattu's thunder. We're really going to give him the wheel here. So Nattu, can you give us a little bit of an intro, who you are, what you do, what Lottie Files is, and really I'm just gonna let you steer the wheel of what we have for today in a second, but we have some household cleaning items before you do that. That kind of was like your turn, but not. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the live chat here today, you guys know the deal, some of you, but if you guys are new to the community, what NewForm is, you guys are interested or want to join an amazing crew of 12,000 plus amazing creatives in or really online, put join in the chat and you guys will get an automatic DM on Instagram if that's where you're watching of what NewForm is and everything else that you can desire about the amazing community that is ours. Same thing with Lottie. If you guys enjoy what you guys watch here today, please put in the live chat on Instagram. Lottie, you guys will get an automatic DM about what Lottie is, their platform, and all the cool things that you can do with it. But keep your eyes here for now. And with that being said, Nattu, it's your turn, brother. Who are you? What are we doing today? Let's get into it.
Thanks a lot, Brandon, and so excited to be here, and thanks for having us.
For sure.
I'm Nattu, and I do enjoy building tools, especially tools for designers and tools for design, and hence the love for creating or bringing motion into the apps came about, and being part of this. A bit about myself. I enjoy photography. I'm from the Maldives, currently based out of Seoul, Korea. Here today we're going to talk about a few of the products that Lottie Files is working on, and hopefully we can add some value to you.
For sure. I know the value is going to come, man. I'm excited. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to probably screen share in just a moment, but I want to let you know if you guys have any questions on what exactly you're watching, what you're seeing, or you just have questions in general, please put them in the live chat. Literally, that's my job tonight. I've got 3 screens open to look for your questions, your concerns, or your excitement. So let us know where you're watching from and your questions. So with that said, Nattu, we're going to jump into some screen sharing.
Perfect.
All right, let's do it.
With, you can actually go to LottieFiles.com/Figma if you haven't really used it. This will give you most of an idea about about what the plugin is about, what it is able to do, new features that we release as well. Or you can just go to your Figma plugin, Figma, and look for the plugin right from here called Lottie Files. You can see it right there. And you can just play it here, right? So let's start with some ideas here. So one is, let's say if I am looking to animate some icons that I've already either downloaded from a few libraries. We also have one library called Icon Scout Unicorns, which is right within here. That means you have tons and tons of free icons that you can go and download, which are mostly strokes as well. But for this demo, I'm also going to use the feather icon. There's also a plugin. This is fully open source icons. The goal here is that I want to bring, let's say, the icons right within here, and let's animate this. Like, for example, let's start with this alert triangle. I've got this downloaded. I have the file. And let me just bring that to the Figma. Done. Okay, now we've got the icon here. What would be the easiest way that we can actually animate this? Let's put a frame around it so that we know. Let me just show my layer list. Sorry, I don't name my layers either, so it's okay. Let's just center it here. Okay. I'm going to open the LottieFiles plugin, and within the plugin, you have few options here. Export to Lottie. So you can see the discover animations here. These are like free animations that you can always go and use. There's 100,000 of them if you're going to look for one. And then there's a premium animation, about 400,000 of them as well. Right. So in order to create this like tiny animation or micro animation, you can go to export to Lottie and hit export to Lottie. You're already seeing a pretty nice animation, right? Even within here, you can click the settings. You can adjust this. Let's say I want to make it all at once or sequential. I can add the duration. All of those details I can just select from the settings. Or I can, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I love trim path, especially for stroke-based ones. So you can see that, I mean, this is all what it needs. But I think I really like the this one. I can just save to the workspace that I have and done. This is as simple as just animating a logo icon. I can just open it within my workspaces and pass it to any of the my developers, or if I want to embed it myself, I can just go and do that. This is the workspace that you get. You can see the file size is optimized is 1.3, .lottie is 1.4, and all the file sizes right here. Extremely tiny. If you want to change colors or apply another themes and other stuff, you can always go to the color palette, or you can always go edit these animation even outside Figma as well. So that is so simple to do. I think.
Awesome. How quick that we just started. Are we gonna have a whole hour? You're just 1, 2, 3 done.
I know. I'm wondering.
We booked an hour, not two.
Yeah. So those animated icons and stuff that you have on the apps that you're building, this is a very simple way that you can create this animation. And in order for you to, let's say, embed this, you can go to handoff. You can turn this on. That means we will give you this animation hosted. You can even serve, let's say, optimize. This is kind of like the smallest, or you can even embed this within iframes to like, or bring to Framer, Figma, even Notion. You can just copy this link and use that on Notion file, and it will just work. So that is the start of, I would say, Animate Icons. Is there anything else cool that I can do with the icons? Okay. I think because this is just the icon, it doesn't mean that it is only limited to the icons. You can use other stuff like, let me go and show this file to you. Okay, the file that you can actually grab is called, with this link, you can grab it, lottie.link/figma-file. What this is one of our community files, which has tons and tons of examples that you can actually pick from. I have that file open right within here. And this is loads of fun if you have the plugin open. Means that, for example, like these were single frame. If you follow LottieFiles on Twitter, Instagram, you might see tons of similar kind of illustrations and graphics that comes about. We can choose any of these single assets and just animate them. Look how cool that is. Ooh.
That's pretty clean. And so the platform just does it decides how everything is going to look by this is smarter than me, man.
Yeah.
We were
This, I mean, if you're I would say After Effects user, you would know that in order to create a trim path, what I mean by is, let's say the trim path, it's going to take a while, like for you to really import the file, get the file in, and get the ins and outs, and figure out the layers, and then all of that. Of course, you will have more customizability, but to create a basic trim path, it takes a while. But this is just an amazing way that you can like quickly create any animation. I love it. Like we use this all the time. And then of course, with the delays and controls, you have all of those power that you actually need. Let me play another one. As simple as just hitting the Lottie. Like you got that. Back.
And really quick, while you're playing around, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're on Daily Web Designs, if you guys want to watch this over on a larger screen, or just you want to watch the recording later, you cannot stay, because maybe it's late for you, or maybe it's early and you want to stay here. But if you type in YouTube in the live chat on Instagram, we'll give you an automatic link to watch this on YouTube. So last thing, all right, I'll shut up now and let's get back to the magic.
Awesome. Here's again another trim path. You might have seen this one across, or similar across Apple websites too. Tons of them are also Lotties. And here you can go to trim path. Oh, this is beautiful. And let's use sequential. Ooh. Right. So this is just one single button, nothing more. And yeah, you can be a product designer, you can be a visual designer, you can now also be a motion designer with just simple effects, because I think what matters is the output of the file and then how you can get it to the product. And then you kind of iterate that on to make it better and better over time. So now we will get to a little bit more complex ones through that, right? So within the plugin, we allow you to go and do sort of a multi animation. There's two ways to go about it. One is that you have the prototyping. If you're in Figma, you know that you can actually go and prototype one from the other. And this is how you do like any sort of prototyping, like you connect the frames one to like each other and go towards it. But also within LottieFiles plugin, if you have that open, you don't really need to connect those. Unless you're creating a very complex one, you can just select them together, select the frames together, and then click on Export to Lottie, and it will give you that. That means now I'm able to go and, let's say, change certain stuff. Let me just hide my toolbars and refresh this. I can see that it is being refreshed. I can just take a color, change it, as simple as that. That means this will give you tons of controls. Let me just go up a little bit from there so you can see that, okay. I can even include another frame right between. Let's just move this one bottom. And then I can click on all of that because I've just added a new frame. I'm going to go back. Okay. Probably the order makes a lot of sense here. Okay, 3, 2. Okay, these 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me just rename this to 3 and then rename this to 4. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you need more control over that, somehow it's going down. I'll have to figure that out. But if I do the prototyping, then it is definitely because I know where I'm directing them towards. And the good thing is in here, you can actually select navigate to instant. Instead of that, you can go to smart animate. So what we are doing under the hood is actually smart animating. I can control the delays, ease out, same. I can go and do that. instant smart animate. There's a delay. And usually I'll just make the delay to, let's say 100 milliseconds. And this is like how you really smoothen your animation, how you choose the ease in methods, even within Figma. Smart animate. So the finesse of animation comes from these little stuff that you actually do. Not necessarily like, hey, I've connected all of that. Why isn't my animation smooth? It's coming from these details, right? So I will go and make this as the starting point. Let's just name this as circles, pink circles. I might have tons of other prototypes within this. So I can now, because I've edited this as a prototype, and you can also see what it looks like within the Figma. So what we're trying to do is not really, oh, this is still on the click. I'm pretty sure navigate to on click after delay. Okay, delay of 100. All right, let me change it. On click after delay of 100. Okay, let's try that. Pink circles. Ooh. And now you can see, like, you can actually go and change the delays and the timing just to accommodate to that. Let's say if I give 300 and then, oh, okay, now you can see the delay right within there and ease in. I can just 500, keep on changing those values that I can. And this is like literally, if you look at a like animation tool, you will have timelines and keyframes that you kind of move around in order to get the ease in or the smoothness of the animation that you're looking for. So if you kind of browse around this file, you can see that there's tons of ideas right within here. For example, this one. And this is as simple as like, okay, let me just move the objects kind of like a little bit further as I animate them. This will go probably a little bit further, and also change the colors to any of those things. You can always preview within Figma of how it looks like. You can do pretty cool stuff right within here as well, right? So those are, like, I would say, a very basic way to start with. If you don't know, you might see like Twitter now X, when you hit the like button, you see the animation right within there that the heart kind of explodes. It is recreated here too, which is a bunch of frames all come together, and this is what it looks like at the end. If we are to play this within the Twitter, within Figma prototype, you can also see that that was a result. Let's also play that in Lottie. I can go and select Twitter heart. There you go. You can select any. Let's just
that's amazing.
change anything. I can even save this to the workspace and just pass it to my dev for any sort of those sort of like reactions, interactions that I want others to kind of feel when they like hit like or something. So you can also see that like a lot of similar interactions. This goes down to even 5.2K, 5 KB just as a .lottie, which is kind of amazing. You can even adjust like different colors for dark modes and also light modes as well. So this is actually pretty cool. If you don't know, like, hit that like button in YouTube. The thumbs up is the Lottie. Hit that like button in, let's say, TikTok, to even Spotify or Twitter, like I mentioned, or even most case Discord. It's also a Lottie that you actually seen as a reaction. So we have an internal saying that the most loved buttons in the world are actually Lottie animations.
They are, man. I'm telling you guys. And you guys are already seeing, some of you in the chat are already like, wait, I didn't know you could do that with Lottie.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
we could do more than an hour today, but you guys have already seen in the first 9 minutes, he was efficient. Nattu showed cool thing after cool thing after cool thing. Honestly, I haven't been able to talk the whole time because I'm just like, I'm getting a world-class education right now. So if I'm learning something, everybody else is definitely learning something. So Nattu, thank you again so much for doing this, because we have a couple people in the chat saying like, holy cow, this is awesome. They have, in correct me if I'm wrong, just like you said, the best buttons, or all the buttons that are most liked, are Lottie buttons. There was a question in, and I think it's an easy answer. There was a question in the chat, the exportability or the file formats that you guys can export Lottie files from. I literally think they're all of them. That was my response to in the chat, but I know it's a long list.
Yes, you have Lotties, but you also have like other stuff like I would say WebM MOV, and you even have the transparent background. That means you can take that file into Keynote, to Premiere Pro, to all other tools that you also have. So you have like non-Lottie based formats, but you also have Lottie based formats here that you can even pass it to your engineers as well. So when I, let's say, turn on the handoff, I get also the embed code that you can take it to any website that you're either building or using. You can even go and customize that. Let's say I want the speed to be a little bit faster. I also want to, let's say, backward and bounce. Ooh. Okay, forward, and then all the details, and you can just copy the code right within here. The other one is that, like, speaking of like how the most loved buttons in the world are also Lotties. If you say, let's say, subscribe or something within YouTube, you can actually see that the subscribe button kind of lights up and gives you an indication. That is also a Lottie. So your devs can actually do pretty cool stuff by connecting few actions that you have within the website to Lottie animations as well.
Do you guys, because if I were in your position, I would have a list of all of the buttons of like the best sites we would be proud to be on. We're like, you guys have a spreadsheet. Oh, that's a Lottie. That's a Lottie button. That's a Lottie.
So there's a fun thing that we've actually done, which is an internal tool that we build. Here, if you go to a website, if it has a Lottie animation, you can actually see that it lights up and tells you where it was created using. And this is like any source code that you can actually look at. You can, of course, see it. Like, let's say Apple, I go to a Apple website, is that animation a Lottie? I can actually see from here that, yeah, it's actually a Lottie animation right within there, right? So, I mean, there are more times that we're surprisingly kind of visits a website and it lights up and say, hey, there's actually 4 Lottie animations. That's how you find out about YouTube to Twitter and everywhere else.
That's awesome.
Cool. So on to a little bit more advanced stuff within, again, Figma. This is mask, and you don't see anything else within here, Brendan, do you? Like, this is a window. Let's see like what is hidden right within here. This is masking. So if I go and export this to a masking, oh, that is actually pretty cool.
Wow.
So you have like all the basics of masking, and you can see this is a community file. You can just go and kind of like, here's the airplane right within here. Ooh, right. So you like play around, learn as much as you can. This is a great file that you can actually play around with. Here's, let's say, a UI toggle that we can just animate. Oh, there you go. And of course, you can add the smoothing, change anything that you want. There is more like, I mean, the ones that we've actually shown you was very much like very 2D vector related stuff. So let's say here's a 3D one, which is more of like a fake 3D using vectors. And if I export this, there you go. It's just changing the perspective, more of like a camera angle change, but all done within Figma. Folks who already use Figma to do and create illustrations, this is just a great way to get that done in terms of an animation.
That makes me sweat. I'm just thinking, how was that even made 2D in Figma? Like, you know what? I'll let them have it.
I know. It's like, it's just folks who use these tools to create designs. I don't know how they do it. It's just amazing. Of course, auto layout within Figma is also supported. So here is an example of, I'll also show you the auto layout side of things. You can actually do pretty cool stuff right within here. So we're just like saying this to product designers that these are the things that you're already familiar with. You don't need to, like, if you want to create animations, just buy the stuff and knowledge that you already have. What we're doing is we're not creating any magic. We're just exporting whatever that you created in Figma. This is what it looks like within Figma. And we're just exporting that to a Lottie animation so that you're getting a production ready animation that you can put on a website or mobile app or anywhere that you want your animations in.
And I love that you're meeting the designers. I mean, you guys have been doing this forever, but you're really meeting the designers where they are, and that's the best way to do it.
I mean, if you're an After Effects kind of like we call them like unicorns as well, because you have to like bring stuff from everywhere. We have After Effects plugin that has been around for ages, and one of the most popular ways for motion designers to get export into Lottie. But we want to make motion more accessible to folks who are not even motion designers, to make motion more popular, and we'd love to see more motion in the apps and products that we actually create, right? So this is, again, our goal is to bring that to product designers. And here you can even have variable text, but this is within Figma. I can just select this and export to Lottie. There you go. This is one of my favorites, which is like gradients. And the way that you actually move the gradient from one to the other side, you can actually see from here. Starts darker on this end and then goes to the other. But if you actually put this to test of how it actually looks like on an animation, look at that. It's just smooth, like butter.
So really, you can just stack the complexity, because I really love how you started. And everybody that's watching, whether you're watching this the replay, I'm gonna grab all the links that I can from Nattu and just stuff them in the YouTube description.
Yeah.
And likewise, everybody who's watching and not already in the NewForm community, just put join. That'll give you all the information you need about the community. But we're gonna put this stuff in there as well.
Perfect. And the last one is that this is actually taken to the next level, which is very hard for even folks in the After Effects to do, which is Figma comes with multivariants and components. So imagine this was a component. This is a part of the components, but when we bring them together, this is like we have like two variants within the component and three variants within here. What if we are to animate these and this base illustration in one component right within here? If I go and click play, you can see like, okay, I need to make it bigger. This is the animation. It's not as smooth. Yeah, I mean, it is smooth right within there, but if I click on export to Lottie, there you go. You got the animation right within there. This is like not like, you might think that, okay, here with the Twitter one that we have is like, hey, I've got like a bunch of keyframes or frames that I need, but you can actually do pretty cool stuff with the components and multivariants to do that. Let's say if I go and change a color right within here. Oh wow! The sun is gonna go to blue moon here. We need to go back. Sorry. Here you go.
All is good.
Oh, where is it coming from? I'll have to double check. Okay, let's troubleshoot this. On click, change it. We have the sun. I change the sun. This is the master. This is 2. This is 3. I'm gonna replace that. I'm gonna replace this with design properties sun 2, Sun 3. Oh, it is actually coming from somewhere else. I'll have to figure that out now. But yeah, you got the picture. This is not the sun that I'm referencing here, probably here for just references to you, that this is how this animation is created. But oh, I can just double click and then change the colors. And just see that. Is it? Nope.
Oh,
okay.
That's not.
We'll get there. Okay. So here, the good thing about also the LottieFiles plugin is that you can actually bring that to any product that you're designing within Lottie, because we can imagine that you've also you've created this animation, but what if that you're kind of you want to bring that Twitter animation that you did right within here. The way that we actually do that is that you can go to the workspaces and find that animation that you just did, and you can insert this. Let's say I have a frame right within here. I want to insert it to Lottie. Figma doesn't support Lottie natively yet, but you can, of course, insert that as a GIF. And at the end, your devs can actually access this one. If I click on this as an image, I can as a GIF. Let me just move towards when the circle is complete, right within there. So when you do the handoff, you would also get the Lottie animation along with it. So nothing to worry about, even though your prototype now has a GIF to kind of preview it within Figma, but you will get that out, right? So one thing that Lottie is great is that because it's a JSON file at the end, developers actually love it. And that was one of the reasons why Lottie became so popular. So let's say this was the animation. If I go and open that in the browser, this is what that animation file looks like. This is all structures of the entire animation. So it's practically a JSON file. Your developers would love to kind of play around with it and insert it. So that's for the Figma to Lottie. There's one more feature I think that designers would absolutely love. We also have a few tools within Figma. So other than, of course, discovering free animations and customizing them, that you can customize them and insert into your prototypes or any screen design that you're doing, you can also go and use these features like AI prompt to vector, raster to vector, and import. Raster to vector is if you have an image that you just want to convert it to a vector, we have a small converter that you can actually do that. And if you have a lot of animations on your computer, you can of course import them. And there's the AI prompt to vector. That means if I'm looking for, let's say I'm a product designer or a visual designer looking to create a few illustrations, a girl walking next to a plant. I'm just typing and choosing, let's say, humans illustration library right within here. This is using AI to generate vector-based illustrations that you can go and modify. You can animate them, and you're free to do whatever you want rather than them being images. So we are, of course, working on improving this with two parts. One is, of course, speed. The second one is a lot of times you folks have your own style that you want to bring in rather than just pick a style from AI generated, or at least it's sometimes very hard to get the style that you're looking for. So we have that as a new update coming in very soon, which is for you to be able to kind of give references and do your own, right? So while this is being generated, right within here. So you can see that, okay, here is the image that is generated. I can hit animate. That actually takes me to, you can see that it's fully vector. I can go back. Let me insert this as an SVG right within here. I can go and delete the background. Here's the thing. I know you don't really name the layers, but the AI does. And this is what we want the AI for. You can see here's a person, here's a red jacket, here's the potted plant. All of those are actually named and also grouped as well, right? So it's easier when you have the group. Sometimes there might be a few things left out, but you can see that it's trying its best. AI is trying its best to name layers and all of those things. Oh, now I can just make 3 plants. And with this one, imagine like you just have the second frame and you're just moving things around. And if I want to animate them as 2 frames, you know what to do, right?
That's awesome.
That's as easy as that, right? So yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm flabbergasted, man. I'm not even sure the things that are gonna come out of my mouth are words. It's just we've seen like 4 or 5 different things now, and especially this. Honestly, selfishly, this is what I was really excited to just have recorded and showcase the AI portions of things. Like the tools and everything that you've shown for the last 30 minutes, awesome, great, beautiful. But you guys save time from an animation motion perspective, and then also asset creation. Like this is, you guys are an end-to-end saviors of people just trying to get things done quickly. And then you guys can brag even more how all the cool things on the internet are from Lottie, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We have to think about this entire pipeline, right? So a lot of times we see an animation and we're like, hey, that's such a great animation. What we don't really think about is like, who created the illustration first? Because a lot of times motion designers are not like the visual designers. So there are folks who are thinking of animation, thinking about how it's going to be animated, and then they create the illustration for it and pass that to motion designers. And we do understand the pain. Sometimes motion designers are like, hey, I got an SVG file. I'm spending like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes cleaning up the file, naming the layers, grouping them so that I can really animate the way that I want without me having to like jump towards like multiple layers, right? So there's a lot more done under the hood for you to even start fully animating, and then of course after animation bring it to the users or whoever is kind of like engaging with that animation.
Definitely.
Cool. So I mean, I hear like you love AI stuff, so why not just really dig into the this was AI for visual designers, but we have some sort of like AI for even motion designers, or even if you're learning, right? So we are moving from Figma down to Lottie Creator. So Lottie Creator is like a web-based tool that we've created for you to come and do more complex animation, or even sometimes you may even want to edit the animation you just created right within here, and kind of bring that and do the tweaks and kind of take it to the next level, right? So a way to start with that is Lottie.new. That goes straight to the editor. But if you want to learn about Lottie Creator, that's the name, and you can, of course, see all the details about that right within this landing page too. Those who are familiar with After Effects would be like, hey, this actually looks pretty new, pretty familiar to you as well, right? So today I'm gonna, when you go to Lottie, okay, let's just start this new, Lottie.new. This will open the Lottie Creator window. Whether you're logged in or not, you will still get this. And this is where you also start, like you have some assets that you can take that in, and or if you want to even import any of the files that you have, you can also upload your own assets like SVGs and others. So very basic for non-motion designers out there. Let me just give you a very, very basic motion kind of a lesson. I'm not a motion designer myself, but I'm also learning, and this is one of the easiest tricks to go with, right? So you can see there's a timeline right within here. This is a property panel, just like Figma. And then here's more of like assets and other plugins and other stuff that you can access. The goal here is that just like in Figma, you have multiple frames. Here you have multiple keyframes, we call it. And you can, if you go to the shape that right within here, animation toggle, you can see that there's position, scale, opacity, and rotation that you can actually go with. So the way that animations work is like I'm enabling these keyframes. That means these keyframes are added. And if I go to the third second, if I move to the left, then you can see the position has been added right within here. You can now, that is how easy that is. If I want to make this one smoother, I can select it and just make it smoother so that the like easing curve, or at least it will, you can see that it's slowing down a little bit, right? So that is the basics of animation. All animations that you see kind of covers all of these like keyframes, in what second something actually moves, and all of those things. Let's say I want to make this animation more like a bell ringing. Of course, the basics would be, yeah, I can do this one, and then rotate to the right side. But it's not really a bell style that I'm going with. You can see that. Okay, I mean, this is pretty good. This is pretty good, but I want something more refined and more natural looking, like a bell ringing, right? So and for that, I know I need to actually hold on to the top part here and then do the shaking maybe. So in After Effects and in motion creation tools, you have something called anchor point. So it's kind of the reference point that you want the bell to actually start with, right? So within here, I can move the anchor within here to the center. And I've already done the rotation, but you can see, oh, this is actually pretty cool. That is the basic way that you can actually create an animation. You have the anchor points right within here, which is also anchor point, origin point. And then you have controls to rotation. You can make it bigger, smaller, all of those. Like if I move it a little bit down, then you can see that it actually goes down and up and all of that, right? So that's a very, very basic. This is, Brandon, this is like that icon illustration or icon animation of motion. Just giving you an idea to go with, right? So a little bit more complex, but using, let's say, a bit of AI. You've also seen that the same prompt to vector we also have within Creator, Lottie Creator, so that you can create those assets to go with it. But instead, like I'm going to go with something called Motion CoPilot. And the goal here is to help you with those animation, right? Like in the timeline. Let's say I have, and I can just use my natural language to do certain things that I want to do, right? So let me add, let's say, a rectangle, and let's center it. And I also want to make this one a little bit more, okay, this is perfect. Should I change the color? Let's ask the AI if it can change the color. So I can either go and use any of these, or I can just type saying loading spinner with pastel colors. I hope you can see what I'm typing, or do I need to zoom in? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what this does is, as you can see, that it is actually changing the colors and just give you a basic preview. I can apply it to my animation, and there you go. I see an animation done. I can, of course, do follow-up, like make it bounce a few times from the bottom, and just keep on like having this conversation with the AI to give you the keyframes that you need. And it will keep on, oh, now I can actually bounce it. You can see that it is bouncing. Simple as that. Now you got a basic animation done.
And I have to say this again, ladies and gentlemen who are watching on Instagram, I've said this before, and hopefully that little line bar that's going across telling you guys how to watch on YouTube, like this is the part of the session where you want to jump over to YouTube, because, and even if you're not, if you just want to chill on your phone, that's fine. But if you want to see the full screen, what's happening, what's being typed, type YouTube in the chat and you guys will get an automatic DM on where to go. But just wanted to put that in there because this is the stuff that makes me sweaty. The good stuff. This is awesome.
We absolutely love this, and I know a lot of new folks, because you're also getting ideas, but also at the same time you're able to control all the animation. That means like you can just select these keyframes, move it a little bit forward, backward, to kind of like control, because like this AI that we are creating here is not to replace you, but kind of to assist you, give you ideas, and to help you out, either learning or to do tedious tasks, just making it easier. Like you've seen on the Figma, one to name your layers and group them, which we don't think you should spend your life kind of doing. So let's say in here, I've already applied that animation. I have another object that I've just added. Let me kind of like play around with this one to make it more, oh, okay. All right. I have a basic shape. I just want to apply, I mean, these are also presets. That means you can go and apply that to another one, another object you selected. Now you can see that, oh, wow, it is actually now fully connected both, because I've just applied the same preset to that as well. Right, so it's as simple as that you are able to create animations. And if you think about like what are the complex animations, it's actually a combination of a lot of these smaller elements blended together to create a complex animation. We started with the basic, like I would say like a basic shape here, to more of a, now I've got a star on top of it, and there's like bouncing and other stuff that is happening, which is pretty cool. I can also add few things like fade in at the beginning, those sort of, and make sure that you kind of select the object that you're looking to animate, so that we get all the, like the beginnings. As you can see that even though it is animating right within here, it just came in as fading, right? So I can fade out anything that I want to do right after that. And of course, once you're done, you can just export it. But also remember like the animation preset that you've seen before, we have all of those presets right within here as well. We can go and click on export. This will export to whatever folder that you have. Remember my draft folder within my workspace. And good thing is that you can also bring other folks into your like private workspace to share it, especially if you're working in a team, you want other folks to come in. Let's say I just want to change a few colors and customize that to my brand. Perfect, I've got that. And the file size was just what, 1.1 KB.
Very nice. And it's just, you know, the future's crazy. Your guys' future is crazy. It's really amazing just to the things that would take. I just remember I'm not that crazy in After Effects, but at one time I did a lot of special effects, and just to be able to write some words, hey, I need you to move like this or change the color, and just have it all happen, and just being able to tweak it as well and not just be fixed to, you know, what was given is insane.
Yeah, and for those who are kind of like may have this like question about how are these being trained? Are my animations and my data being used to actually train these? And to that answer is that no, we don't use any public animation or even private animation to train any of these models. In fact, we're not even training these models. This is just coming straight from the LLMs that is out there. And in fact, today, I think like a few hours ago, we use Grok under the hood to use the open source models in order to get the result that you're looking for. This is Grok. And we use Grok under the hood. This was 4 hours ago. Grok kind of like showcasing the same, the Lottie Creator's CoPilot, the same thing that we've just used and they've written a case study around it, and they've just tweeted about it. So which is actually pretty cool. And since while we are on Twitter, you can see that this one lights up and say, oh, that is actually a Lottie animation, right? So all good. Our goal is to, again, help motion designers and new folks who wants to be motion designers to kind of give you the like keyframes that you would need to create certain things. If you have a creative kind of like a block, just type it. And there's also a question mode. That means like I can ask things like, how can I make this animation smoother? And those things kind of gives you more of a like a guide on animation and motion. For example, in here we will tell you like, hey, you can go and select those things, and on the right panel you can choose smooth in and smooth out. So if I come press here, click on any of the keyframes, and you can actually see the easy method is smooth in and out, right? So the AI knows about it, so it already did that for you. But you can of course play around with the timings in order to, for example, at the end you can use a linear out, and those things are when you get into the more detailed refinements of motion design, you have all of those controls. There's tons and tons of more features right within here. If you can go to Lottie Creator releases, like you can see that the team has been busy. This is August 12th, August 1st. All of the stuff that you can actually do right within here, matte and mask, work area segments. There's just tons and tons of the things that the team is working on kind of releasing to the Lottie Creator as well.
That's amazing, man. And I'm almost worried to even ask. I'm sure there's even more magic in the hat to share, but you've given us a lot to look at today, research, and actually play with. We have about 8 minutes, and that 8 minutes, YouTube will kick us off. YouTube will still run, but I want to give us some time to answer some of the questions that have come through, and also give a chance for some of the people who are, I know our community, especially on Instagram, y'all are most likely sleeping, but some of you guys have stayed up. So what I want to do is I have a couple questions written down that I want to ask you. And those of you who are on YouTube and Instagram, please put your questions in the chat while going over this, because we got a couple minutes left. Now 7. I'm going to stop running my mouth. All right. So first question is, there was a lot of amazing small iconography animations motion that was produced via Lottie. Do you know of any large projects that was used with Lottie? Like, what do you tend to see? Is it a lot of small animation and motion projects, or is there somebody that was just like, listen, I'm just gonna not sleep for a month and create something big with Lottie? And really the original question for this, as you look around and answer this visually, one of the questions was, can people make big things with Lottie? And I just tried to define that a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. Big things starts with small things. That's how we usually say it within. If you go to LottieFiles, and this is not from us, this is from the customers that actually use Lottie animations. These are case studies written by the industry leaders and within their teams on how they actually use these animations, right? So how they actually create. This is from the CNN, how they create certain animations within Lottie and then kind of use it within the websites to make it more interactive. For example, if you like scroll it, you have some instruction that is going on. We have folks like, this is Product Pie. We have, and this is like more on the banking and fintech side of things. We have Instacart, we have Headspace, and of course, all the animations that you see on Duolingo. There's just tons and tons of these examples that you can actually see. There's also another place that you can see is Built with Lottie. This actually shows you websites and applications that uses Lottie across the board, right? So these are just, and if you happen to create any animations or Lottie or use Lottie and kind of like ship it to any website or anywhere, just give us a shout out. We would love to give you a shout out on all of our socials, and then of course feature across the board. These are again like tons and tons of ways that you can actually create and use Lottie animations into a better storytelling. This is on the website, has full on horizontal scroll. You can also see from here the full animation that the folks are also using. So yeah, just look around. There's tons and tons.
Love it, man. So I'm gonna give you one more question, and then I'm gonna let you finish how you would like to outro us. Where can people who are interested in what they watched today or rewatched, where can they learn Lottie Files? I know there's a couple of resources you're gonna give to me, and I'm gonna post, but where should people start?
A good start is always the education tab that we have is more of a LottieFiles.com/education. Whatever that you're looking for, just type it and we will give you sort of like either courses or individual tutorials. For example, like you might want to bring in Lottie animations to a WordPress site. Just type it. There's just so many. I think the YouTube has close to 20,000 like community videos too on how to use it. And of course, education tab is your go-to place. If you're new to even motion and you want to go into the like more of the detail side of it, you can see all of these courses too. If you are a product designer or visual designer who uses Figma, we have this Figma to Lottie certification course that at the end we'll give you a certificate, but we will show you sort of like guides on which like episodes and exercises that you need to complete in order to go through that. And of course, like these are for, again, After Effects. You have like a full course. Salih was head of motion design at Airbnb, taking this course as well. And this is Isara from UX in Motion, one of the best ones out there, giving you lessons on, how to use motion and Lottie animations as well. So these were created for Lottie Files. Tons and tons of resources, tutorials, courses for you to actually begin with.
Beautiful.
And the best way, Brendan, is always just get into the application and start just fiddling around. You break it or not, that's the best way to learn. And if you have anything specific, then just Google it.
Exactly. That's the best way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Just get in there, make it messy, play around, and then alongside of that, there's a lot of documentation, videos, courses, just as Nattu had mentioned. So, really quickly, we're at the end of our session today. I just want to say a huge thank you again to Nattu. Thank you so much for doing this, man. We have to figure out a way to do this earlier so we can. I know it's gonna be late for you, but we've had good energies today. It's the end of my day, but maybe it's a little bit different for you. But let's end with this. People, we already talked about education, but what are you excited about in regards to Lottie Files, the company? Is there some things that you can share with us that you're excited about, but you keep not pulling back the full curtain? What people can be excited about for future things that you guys are working on? And we'll leave it there in an outro.
I think for the future, I hinted about this a little bit earlier too, is like bring in your own style for the AI generation so that it understands your style, and whatever it generates is so that you don't have to go and like fully customize it to your brand and style, or it's always consistent to you. That is a part that we actually take great care about to help visual designers or motion designers to prepare that asset for animation. Because if we don't make that easier, then you still like the hard part is still there, right? So we want to make that easier, and then of course improving the motion CoPilot in order for you to get more consistent results, or at least like there are some sort of an animation you want it to be similar to, let's say, a brain. The way that we curve something, the way that we move something is always consistent. So we are kind of like working on that one part. The remaining, I would say, is like to end it. I've shown you the tool. I've shown you how to use it. But a bigger question to leave with is why? Why should I care? And why should I actually animate? Because from us, or from at least all the case studies that we've seen, we've known that motion helps you engage your customer. Motion helps you convert them better, because if you're already engaged in the page, imagine Google looking at the page and say, hey, people are actually staying on this page. We should just put this step up on the page rank as well, right? So there's a lot of benefits to using animations or micro animation or motion into the products that you're doing. This is apart from, let's say, engaging with your audience or engaging with your users. We say motion evokes emotion. And there's actually science behind it, right? So I think learning that why, how it benefits you, how it benefits the customers, and what is the return of investment on what you're putting into motion today. Can you do that internally? What sometimes what we do is like a removal test as well. That means if you remove an animation, how's the conversion is going to hurt as well, right? So motion is the best form of storytelling, and just have fun with it. But also animate responsibly. Too much of anything is good for nothing. So just use it carefully in the places that you actually need.
Animate responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Nattu, thank you so much for your time today. That is it for us, guys. If you want to learn more about Lottie Files, obviously LottieFiles.com. And again, all the other content information we will put in our YouTube video. Just give us a little bit of time, but everything will be in there, and as well as in our Discord. Everything related to Lottie Files, what we talked about today, I'll grab from Nattu, and it will be exactly where you need it. We'll also email you. All right, guys, have a great night. Take it easy.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya. Bye.